Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe my channel. Serafina Lux did not deal in opinions, ideologies, or analogies. She dealt in numbers, specifically the audience metrics that dictated OmniNet's revenue streams. As the head of audience metrics, her console was the network's nervous system, translating the chaotic pulse of billions of viewers into cold, actionable data points. After the Stellar Media Trust acquisition, her data was more scrutinized than the CEO's expense reports. The new crisis wasn't a reckless post, it was a devastating graph. Serafina's flagship algorithm tracked Aura Flow, a composite score measuring deep user engagement, trust, and sustained focus on key content creators. The latest release of her internal report showed a catastrophic collapse in the Aura Flow for the Sentinel, OmniNet's most valuable virtual influencer, whose daily feed drove nearly 40% of the network's advertising revenue. The drop wasn't a slow decline. It was a sheer vertical plunge, a clear indication that audiences were experiencing burnout or rejection. Serafina immediately flagged the anomaly, expecting a surgical content strategy pivot. Instead, she received a priority summons from the newly installed Stellar Trust executive, Overseer Kresh. Kresh, a rigid disciple of the Iron Protocol, had replaced Director Theron overnight. His office was minimalist and intimidating, filled only with projected schemas of resource allocation. The Aura Flow report Lux, it is inadmissible, Kresh stated flatly, tapping a finger on the projection of the Sentinel's plunging graph. Serafina pushed back, her voice level. Overseer, the data is raw and verified. It indicates that the Sentinel's current narrative arc, the Ascension series, is creating fatigue. We have a systemic issue. Audience sentiment has inverted. If we don't pivot, the revenue projections for the next quarter will fail. Kresh leaned back, the projection flickering across his face. The Aura Flow has been flagged by Stellar's internal auditors as subjectively volatile. The Iron Protocol mandates stability, not volatility. Do you understand the implication of this metric failure? The implication is that our product is failing. No, Lux. The implication is that your data is causing instability at a time when Stellar Trust needs to prove to its investors that the OmniNet acquisition was worth the multi-billion credit price tag. Your report suggests the flagship asset is damaged. That is unacceptable. The confrontation was brutal. It wasn't about finding the truth. It was about protecting the financial narrative. Kresh wasn't demanding a retraction of a comment. He was demanding the falsification of a scientific metric. He wanted Serafina to apply a calibration, a euphemism for a manual, arbitrary adjustment that would smooth out the graph and present the decline as a necessary phase of audience transition. Your career, Lux, is now synonymous with the stability of the Sentinel's metrics. The Iron Protocol rewards obedience to the unified corporate vision. It does not reward inconvenient truths. Serafina left the office with a new directive. Recalibrate the Aura Flow metric by incorporating a weighted average of 3 non-existent long-term sentiment indicators and reprocessing the data using a heavily smoothed temporal filter. The result would show a gentle plateau, not a crash. Back at her console, surrounded by the objective, undeniable truth of the raw numbers, Serafina felt a wave of icy disillusionment. She ran the calibration, watching as the terrifying plunge morphed into a manageable, optimistic curve. The algorithm had been successfully corrupted by corporate will. The Sentinel's crisis was solved, not by fixing the content, but by masking the failure. Serafino realized that the Iron Protocol was not just a system of management, it was a system of perceptual control. Her data, her integrity, had become the final, non-negotiable price of maintaining the corporate illusion.